Welcome, Badass Manifester. I am so glad you are here. I'm your host and head coach, Ashley Gordon, master mindset and manifestation biz expert, founder of the Quantum Coaching certification, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur obsessed with empowering you to create quantum leaps in your energy, your life, and your business. This is the show to help you make magic your everyday normal, where the ripple effect is real and the guest experts are world class. My mission is to power your conscious and subconscious mind with manifestation teachings, business tools, and coaching techniques to put your potential into action. Consider this your weekly up level. Are you ready for quantum transformation? Let's do this. Hello, Badass Manifester. I am so excited for this solo episode. I have so much energy around it because this is something that my team and I have been talking a lot about. And of course, shout out Chelsea on my team. She's like, this is a solo podcast episode. I'm like, okay, let's do this. So today we're going to talk about how to create and build your own momentum in life and business. Okay, so let's just break it down real simple. What the F is momentum, right? It is like in physics, momentum is like this fundamental concept that describes the quantity of motion an object possesses. It is defined as the product of an object's mass and its velocity, right? So in life, I equate it to the velocity of the energy you have behind the thing that you're moving towards. And when you have velocity, and let's be clear, the universe loves speed. The universe loves the fastest, quickest way to get you to what you want and to bring that thing to you, to meet in the middle, right? Because technically we're co-creating. So when we are in the energy of velocity, when we're in the energy of momentum and speed and making things happen, guess what? Life will reflect that back to us. Life will show us exactly how we're being. So when we're in this waiting, when we're in this wishing, when we're in this wishy-washy, when we're in this, oh, I really want this to happen, but I'm not making moves and I'm not taking action, what do you think is reflected back to us, right? The same energy that we are. That's how powerful you are. That is how fucking creative you are. So this energy of momentum, what does it take? What are the ingredients of momentum? So I've broken down these ingredients and I'm going to share a story of how these all weave together. So the ingredients for velocity and momentum are in no particular order. Reflection is so powerful. Stretching yourself outside of your comfort zone. Playing with your edge over and over again. Celebration. Celebrating every single thing, big and small, creates so much energy. It's like a part. I once heard someone describe it as celebration is a party in the name of gratitude. So gratitude is part of this equation too, celebration and gratitude. The other piece of the pie is affirmation of what is happening and what you are creating, like what will be, what you are on track to be creating. Another piece is sharing your success with the world and not being afraid of that. Sharing boldly, and being an invitation for other people. Being an invitation for other people to let them know you can do what I'm doing too. You can create the same momentum for yourself just by being. All you have to do is be in this energy. And then the last piece of the recipe is actually embodying momentum. So what does momentum look like, feel like, and sound like to you? Really getting clear for yourself what this energy of momentum actually feels like in your body. Cultivating that energy in your body, because all of these things, all of this recipe, this whole recipe is really a cultivation of you. It's coming from inside of you. You have to do this is all inner work. Most of it's inner work. Most of it is this conjuring of energy, because no matter what's going on, what was, whether things aren't working for you right now, whether things could be better, whether you want to make more money, whether you want to help more people and you're not getting exactly what you want right now, you can either stay in that energy, or this is the cherry on top of the recipe, you can decide to create momentum. You can decide to create momentum right now. It's a decision. And ultimately, momentum is a decision. I remember being on a trip to Australia a few years back, and I didn't really have a clear product suite yet for my business. I was launching things randomly. I didn't have a good flow going on, but I was creating a money program called Receive. And we still have this program today. It's a bonus to QCA students. It's a really powerful money subconscious rewiring so that our coaches can receive, money for their work in the world. Very important step of receiving. So I'm creating this program, Receive, and I felt like those post-vacation blues come on. And I was just getting home, and it was like jet lag, and I'm driving in the car, and I'm doing some errands, catching up on life, and I was like, oh, it's a new month. I really got to get myself together. And I'm telling myself these downer stories. And all of a sudden, this voice in my head said, this is going to be the best month in your business yet. This is going to be the best month in your business yet. And it completely changed my energy. And in that moment, I realized I have a choice. It's a new month and I have a choice of how I want to show up. And I think it was April actually. So it's kind of on point for April right now. And my higher self was just laying it on me. Get it together. You can create anything you want from this point. So what are you telling yourself? What are you creating? And to be honest with you, I really have no idea if it was the best month in my business at that point in time, but that wasn't the point of the message. The point of the message was I can create anything that I decide to. And so I was like, yes, momentum, let's go. I have momentum. And I felt like I didn't have momentum because I was traveling, I wasn't sharing, I wasn't posting as much. I was just, living my life. And I used to have this belief that if I, didn't post every day, people would forget about me and blah, blah, blah. All these limiting beliefs that we all tend to have at the start of our businesses, right? So that was a game changer. And from that point on, I really started to play with the energy of momentum, and I could create momentum and velocity at the speed of my thought. I could create this by just deciding it in this moment. So let me illustrate another example for you. We're coming off of quarter one of the year and moving into quarter two. And my team and I had a very clear plan for everything we wanted to implement in quarter one. So I think having a vision really does help with building that momentum because I knew where I was going. But when you create velocity and momentum and a lot of energy around what you're doing, you get to be surprised by the universe with all these special things that pop up that you don't realize are going to pop up. And so when I think about reflection as part of the recipe, I reflect on, by the end of the year, we were coming off of $1 million launch. And I use that energy to move me into the new year. So in the new year, I've been celebrating every single month all the beautiful things that have happened, January, February, March. And I look back in my reflection and I see that I've really stretched myself out of my comfort zone. I was really flirting with my edge and playing with my edge, and I was getting into uncomfortable spaces and putting myself out there in ways that I had been holding myself back previously. And an example of that is I asked my coach, Natalie Ellis, to come on my podcast, right? That was a big ask, and I just went for it. And we had this beautiful interview, and I had this download to pitch myself on her show. After our episode, I was like, hey, I would love to come on your show and talk about this. It was actually about the $1 million launch. It would be beneficial for you. It could be beneficial for me. It works together. It's very synergistic. And immediately she was like, yes. I was so nervous. But was it worth it to be nervous, to flirt with the edge of possibly rejection, right? Being rejected, having her say no. And I always ask myself, what's the worst thing that could happen? She could say no and I'm rejected. And then what happens, right? It requires some self-coaching. And she said yes immediately, faster than I thought. There was no thinking about it, which I totally was so stoked on. And she's like, yes, this is going to be huge. Let's do it. And we scheduled it right away and we did it. And because I was able to do that, I put myself in front of millions of people. I put myself in a position for massive visibility. That energy, that momentum, that velocity only came because I declared at the beginning of the year, this is the year of visibility. This is the year that I'm getting out there. This is the year that I'm sharing my voice on a larger scale. So that goes into affirmation. What I said before, affirming what is happening and what you are creating. I had already been affirming that. So I took the inspired action, right? It was like the perfect recipe of inspired action. And when the opportunity presents, don't back down. Creating momentum is also about creating your own opportunities. Because there are so many opportunities available to us, there are so fucking many. Like yesterday, I'll give you an example. I was interviewing this amazing, amazing guy on the podcast. His name is Pavel. You're going to hear about him. He's an expert at biohacking. It was incredible. We were vibing. It was so great. And at the end, after we stopped recording, I flirted with my edge again. I said, hey, he has amazing products on his website. I'm like, do you need an affiliate? Do you need a partner? Like, is there anything I can do? Do you have an affiliate code? Is there a coupon code? And he's like, oh yeah, we do testing with our products. We can send you some products. If you like them, you can record an ad and we'll send traffic to your Instagram and that'll be your affiliate. My mind was blown. He is sending me thousands of dollars of biohacking gear just because I asked the question. So I think actually I want to add another ingredient to the recipe of momentum. Ask. You got to ask. You got to ask so you can receive. Not ask and you shall receive. Ask so you can receive, right? And that was just like confirmation to me that I'm on the right track. Momentum, energy. I was like, yes, this is amazing. Oh my God, what an opportunity. Visibility. Holy shit. He's going to send thousands of people to my Instagram from this ad, right? So you just never know what is available or what's possible if you don't ask for it. Ask, and that's the only way you'll be able to receive. So celebration is a huge part of the pie, right? We have to be grateful for the big and small things. In the beginning of my business, it was celebrating 10,000 downloads on my podcast like it was 1 million. In the beginning of my business, it was about celebrating a $6,000 launch like it was $1 million launch. If we can't celebrate the seemingly small things, even though those are big things, we can't celebrate the big ones. How can we hold it? The more we can stretch our capacity in celebration of acknowledgement of the work that you've done and the work you've put in. We're so conditioned as a society to not acknowledge, to move on to the next, to skip over the celebration because we don't have time. We got to be productive. No. We get to bask in the celebration energy. We get to be grateful for every single thing that life is showing you as confirmation, as affirmation, as validation. Life is always validating us, but are we seeing it? Are we listening to it? Are we affirming it? And the next part is about sharing your success with the world. I shared about my $1 million launch. I share about these exciting things with you right now. I'm sharing with you these things that are happening in real time because I want to inspire you. I want you to see how powerful you are through the reflection of me showing you my power. I want to be an invitation. And that's what we are. We're always inviting people into our energy, into our momentum. I don't just want this momentum for me. I want it for all of us. I want my whole team to have momentum and to feel that powerful energy and velocity and inspiration for, creating their life on purpose, because that's what this really is about, isn't it? It's about creating so intentionally, so deliberately that you can't doubt that you are co-creating with God, that you can't doubt that you are co-creating with your higher self, with the universe. And so creating your own momentum is creating this velocity and power and energy. You're cultivating it within your being. You're affirming, I am momentum. You're affirming it. Another thing you can do is sharing your success with the world to create momentum in your business is sharing your testimonials. Even if you're a brand new coach, coach someone for free, ask them for a testimonial and put it on your social media, because people start to get this momentous energy when they're like, ooh, oh wow, Tessa is working with this person and that person, and look at the results that they're getting. Ooh, yeah, okay. Because momentum and energy behind your work, it also sometimes can create urgency for people. When they see that you're popping off, they're like, wait a second, they're up to something. And I want to know what they're up to. I want to be a part of that. I want a piece of that. I want to be in that energy. I want to be in that vibe. When people say, I love your vibe, to me, that to me is like the highest compliment. They're like, I love your energy. That to me is like more powerful than someone saying that I'm beautiful or I look good, right? It's like, no, I like your energy. That is momentum. When someone says, I like your energy, they're reflecting back to you that they feel you. And when you can feel someone, like really feel them, that is their essence. And when you can feel someone's essence, that means that their vibration is high. That means that they're not in a dull state. They're not not feeling well. They're in the zone, right? When you're in the zone creating and things are manifesting rapidly. So I was in the zone and I was in this momentous moment, and I filled out a form. I'm in a mastermind and they were like, oh, Kajabi's picking some people to be featured. I had no idea what it really was about. From the Boss Babe community, I filled out the form. Next thing I know, Kajabi is telling me that they want to feature me for International Women's Day. 4 women were featured. And we were on the homepage of Kajabi, which is something that I'm always inspired by because there's always such inspiring people on that homepage. And not only that, they then said, we want you to create a reel and we want you to collaborate with the Boss Babe Instagram account and our Instagram account. Well, as most of you know, the Boss Babe Instagram account has over 3 million followers. And Kajabi has a ton of followers. So the exposure and the visibility of that was unbelievable. And the reel had almost 80,000 views. I mean, that came out of nowhere. I wasn't even trying to make that happen, but it happened from the affirmation of this is my year of visibility. This is my year of being in front of thousands of millions of people. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen. Creating momentum is about creating with your word. Your word is your wand, right? Your thoughts are generators. Your emotions are energy in motion. We're all vibrating through our thoughts, through our feelings, through the energy that we hold. It's all creative. So what do you want to create? What momentum are you calling in? What are you deciding right now is going to be your reality? Use your power. I've said this before and I'll say it again. You are the creator of your life, so start acting like it. Start pushing yourself to get uncomfortable. Start flirting with your edge. Ask for the things you want. Show up for the things you want. Invest in the programs that are going to help you get there. Because creating momentum is also about taking action. Although I didn't say that was part of the initial recipe, I think that's pretty obvious, right? Creating momentum and velocity is about action, inspired action. Stop having fear and doubt. The money will show up. The people will show up. The opportunities will show up. Everything will show up, but nothing can show up if you don't show up first. So it is about you taking the action first, being the leader of your life, being a self-led human creator, and deciding that now is your time and it's all happening. That's one of my favorite quotes ever. It's all happening. It's all happening now. Everything I want, I already am. I am a cultivator of momentum and velocity. I am an action taker. I am the one I've been waiting for. And that is how to create your own momentum in life and business. I am sending you so much love. I hope you have the best week. And I'm so excited because next Monday, keep your ears open because I am announcing something very, 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 very exciting. I can't wait. Until then, keeping the badass, deliberate creators of momentum and velocity. Let's go. Woo! We did some work today. Thank you so much for listening. You know I love my BAM fam. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who you know would love it too, because we live for the ripple effect over here. And how can you best support the show? Make sure you're subscribed, hit the 5 stars, and leave a review on iTunes, and let me know how the podcast has impacted you. I love being part of your real-time journey, so screenshot the episode and tag me and my guests on Instagram at ManifestWithAsh. Now say it with me. I am my own power source. I am the master of my own energy, and I deserve everything that I desire. We don't just talk about it over here, we be about it. Now go get 'em.